biggest worry? Well, it's my son's coming back from North Dakota.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. I mean, we know like you're from Black Belt, an amazing community that we're in as well too.
Yeah, look, martial arts really shifted me. I mean, and I'm doing great. I'm super excited to hang out with you guys and bring some massive value to the listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode on the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast. We have an amazing guest with us. I'm super excited. The one and only Mike Agugliaro. Did I pronounce that right?
You got it, brother.
Ooh, man, there's a little like sweat dripping down my head, but glad I got that. But how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I'm super excited to hang out with you guys and bring some massive value to the listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know like you're from Black Belt, an amazing community that we're in as well too. You're a seasoned vet. You've done some amazing things. So I know that you're going to bring a lot of wisdom and some good stuff to the listeners. So yeah, let's dig into it, Mike. So what we like to open up with is called rapid dynamic questions. So it's a series of quick questions, quick answers. You ready for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we did a little research. We see that you were. Are you still a tattoo artist, or were a former tattoo artist?
I think if you're a tattoo artist, you're always a tattoo artist. I just don't do a whole lot of tattoos anymore. Every now and then, my son, positions enough that I have to do another one on him. Yeah. But I do consider myself a tattoo artist.
Okay, no, because I love tattoos. I got several myself, but I was gonna say, I saw that. I was gonna say like since you are an artist, like if you were granted like to paint a billboard with some form of art, what would that piece of art be and why?
Yeah, well, I got a lot of very Japanese influenced stuff. So if I was to paint something like that, it would be Minamoto Musashi.
Okay.
He is one of my favorite, I would say, legends, famous samurai. He wrote the Book of Five Rings. So I would tie a badass picture with that.
Okay. Yeah. Right on. And just kind of like a piggyback question. Why like so much inspiration from like the Japanese culture?
You know, I've been on my own since I'm 15 years old, and I found my way into martial arts at 15. And it was pretty much because when I was young, I got jumped by 5 gang members, and I swear that would never happen again. And that brought me through my life into the Japanese martial arts. And that's a lot of the martial arts created focus, discipline, relentlessness for me. So I've just fell in love with that whole section, or I guess way of the martial way.
Yeah, love that, man. We'll definitely dig into a lot of those things later in the show as well, too. So the next thing I want to ask you, though, is just like, what's been the biggest blessing in disguise, since the pandemic, these past 2 years, I would say?
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic, I was already prepared for something, because anybody who experienced this whole Trump election, I mean, to think nothing was coming. Now, I thought it would be like a fake alien invasion or something. I never thought it would be a pandemic. I think the blessing in disguise here is one, people really made a decision on how they want to live and how they don't want to live. And I think that's really important. Like people decided to get healthier. I wasn't unhealthy, but I focused a lot more on my health. And I think it is a gift with as many upsides as downsides to it.
Yeah. And really quick too, that's awesome that you've really kind of like put health at the forefront, right? So like what have you seen like that carry over into like just business and overall lifestyle?
Yeah, I think people are making time once they got out of that. The excuse was gone. Like I couldn't go somewhere to get fit. I think what people are now making the connection is health is not just your health alone, that health is the connection to everything, right? Your business is only going to be as successful as your personal health, right? Your relationship is only going to be as successful as your personal health. So I think people are starting to just become, the ones that are not afraid are becoming, I would say, more focused on it. And those that have fear, they're starting to get more educated than ever before.
Yeah, I would have to agree. That's a really good point. So like to kind of carry over to that too about like COVID and stuff, like a little bit of craziness going on in the world. So like what if you were to fill in the blank with a sentence, the world needs more of, what do you think the world needs more of right now?
Love.
Okay. I agree. Love and compassion. I agree.
Yeah. Love and I would say a little bit of courage sprinkled over the love. That would help a lot of people out.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, Mike. So just to conclude this rapid dynamic questions, the last question is, what's your biggest worry these days?
Biggest worry? Well, it's my son's coming back from North Dakota. So my biggest worry is that, he'll have a safe trip back. The second one I would say for people is, we are teetering on it's not a new norm. It's a new world. And I think we're teetering a lot of things. And I would say a recession or something like that. And just if we all band together, we wouldn't have to experience one. So I would say that's my biggest world concern right now.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right, Mike, let's jump into this. So, I mean, really quick. So we watched your black belt hot seat, right? Which was super inspiring, right? So I just want to say thank you so much for that. It was super inspiring, super motivating. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on the show, to have that wisdom, have just, that courage that you bring to the table on here, right? So in your background, you sold your gold medal company for millions of dollars, right? And then you got into the coaching space about, I would say, over 5 years ago. So what drove you to get into actual coaching? Like, what was that main driver just to want to coach people?
Yeah, well, I built a service company that did plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, drain cleaning, and I'm an electrician by trade. And I got to connect a few dots here. Like the first part was I was a struggling business owner. Most people have that story. I figured it out, but I figured it out in a pretty big way. I figured it out by learning from really smart people, just like people learn from you guys, and implementing like a monster. And I took that from under $1 million to over 32 million, double-digit profit. I had 200 employees and 165 trucks that came and fixed people's broken stuff in their home. I had so much success through that every time I was getting around my friends, and I don't know about you guys, you get around your friends, you're like, oh, man, things are going great. I'm loving it. And your buddy goes, oh, it's not so great for me. I can't find people and I'm not making money and customers are there. And I'm like, and I found myself dimming my light. Oh, well, yeah, my life's not really that good. Mine sucks here. And just evaluating that, I said, wait a second, do I really want to play this level of dimming my light? Or can I be a solution? Can I start fixing everybody I know that feels like they're broken and doesn't have a chance? Really, they just needed new skills. And that put me right into building what was called CEO Warrior. And I came at it from a different angle. I didn't want to be a coach for these people. I wanted to be training and implementation. Mm-hmm. That was key. I wanted to be a training and implementation organization because at the end, like a coach is great, but a coach is only as good as the training and the implementation blueprint. And that just catalyzed us right into helping what our expertise is, the blue collar space, right? Plumbers, HVAC guys, electricians, these people that are dying way too early. They're getting divorced all the time. They suffer with tons of addiction and everybody looks down upon them. No one, if I said to you, first image, plumber coming to your house, you don't go button down shirt, black pants, black shoes, black belt. You don't say that. Yeah. You say flannel shirt, ass hanging out, not shaved, smells a little bad. That's what people think. And I wanted to change that whole paradigm on not only how people think, but how these service companies run their company.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it's almost like you kind of wanted to raise the bar, like just have them raise their standards as like, plumbers, electricians, to where it's like a different perception that people have, right? Where it's like, you're teaching masculinity, but you're also teaching so many other elements.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We were teaching how to create this Ritz-Carlton, this Disney experience from a plumbing company. And we were able to do it because we grew from under $1 million to 32 million in less than 10 years. And I didn't grow it like blindly. I grew it by putting things in and testing. And then once we found that this was duplicatable, pretty easy. We had 17 of our clients sell in the last year. The last one was sold for over 17 million. So we knew that we were creating something that not only was changing the industry, it was changing a lot of lives in an industry that needed lives to change.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. And then so like, what do you think like that root cause is like with some of those people in those traits, right? That they're kind of having those like limiting beliefs, they're having divorce rates, right? They're not taking care of their health and they're just not like achieving excellence, that they're just wanting to work or something like that.
Yeah, it's generational, right? It comes down and yeah, you want to call it belief system, but it's not really belief system because they chose the belief. The belief was given to them. It was gifted to them by someone who just said, go out there, work really hard. And these beliefs, like, I think people underestimate, like a lot of people, I don't know about you guys, when I was young and I picked up a quarter as a kid, maybe 5 years old, and I picked up a quarter, I was telling my mom, oh my God, look at this. I found a quarter, right? And she was like, oh, that's great. Now go wash your hands. Money is dirty. Mm-hmm. And you think as an adult, because you took that out of your mind, like you don't believe money is dirty. You think it went away. But that's just one small example. Now, what about the grandfather you had that was a tradesperson before then that said, I hate my job. I can't wait to retire. Anybody listen to this show that can't wait to retire? I want to give you something to think about. Stop doing what you're doing because people only retire what they hate.
Exactly.
No one retires what they love.
Yeah.
Right. So that was that. It goes back and back and back. And if you look, I mean, what is it? My grandmother was, just so you know, when she was born and young, she actually, before toilet paper came out, the Sears company catalog, they used to use this toilet paper before toilet paper. Now, if you look at this, what is this? 120 years or something? Like, look at how much we've come and evolved in a short period of time. But you carried all that thinking from depressions and all of these different types of things that happen, and people are still carrying that over from their family.
Yeah, I agree with you. And this is a really good like segue into the internal awakenings that you talk about. So in life, you said that you find their personal identity in the world. Can you expand more just like on this internal awakenings, like on what you teach to like your students and why this is so important? I would even say too, like, was there a period where you had an internal awakening that really just kind of shifted you into another direction?
Yeah, look, martial arts really, really shifted me. I mean, and there was a couple big times in my life, and a lot of people probably will be able to reflect with this or maybe be aligned with this. One of them was just going to a school, and the school I went to was a vocational school. And just so you guys know, vocational school is like a trade school. You go to learn plumbing, HVAC, or whatever. It's like there's two roads. It's like a conveyor belt. It's like, oh, you're built for college. And like, not you, you should go become a plumber or an electrician, right? And that's like the school. Like I fell into the trade end there. And what happened is by studying that, once I got out there and learned I could make money, it's really then when I learned martial arts and how to become a powerful human, a focused human, a disciplined human. That was the catalyst. And once I ended up, and I trained in what they call an underground dojo. That's where there's not a lot of protective gear. You're not worried about mouth gear. And your instructor, it's almost like a guy that walks from a mountain, right? He's going to hit you with this bamboo sword. It's called a shinai. And that's kind of like your awakening in class, right? Yeah. If you're punching wrong, it's like bamboo whack. Over time, just in about 4 or 5 years of training in that atmosphere, I started to see the connection. And I realized it even more just in the last couple months, more than ever. The mind, the body, and the spirit. You think you understand it because everybody's like, oh, the mind. I was like, no, do you understand your mind? Mm-hmm. And then body, do you really understand how this thing works, functions? And then spirit, like, what do you believe in? Yeah. And if you lose any one of them, if you lose your mind, you're done. If you have a good mind and your body, you're done. If you have no spirit, you believe in nothing, everything sucks in life, you're done.
Yeah. And that's awesome. It might, because honestly too, like, I mean, for us, I don't know if you know like a lot about our backstory, but we lost our father at 17 years old. And like, I feel like we went through hell. Like I say all the time, we went through some dark moments. So we did have like an internal awakening at some point. And what we lost big was our mental side, and then just like the spiritual side too. So I could see too, like how like martial arts, like boxing, just something like a combat sport can just really just kind of just like help that inner awakening, like it's just come back and just like put you in another direction.
Yeah. And anybody who wants to have a breakthrough awakening, every success comes from one thing: removing resistance. That's it. Good. Remove resistance. And removing resistance from your mind is one of the biggest things. So I'll share something with you guys. My daughter is going, she's 200-hour yoga certified. She's 19 now, and she was yoga certified at 17. So I would do some yoga with her, and, getting in some of these moves, man, like, back, I don't know if I'm built for that. But I got to tell you something. After I'm stretching here and downward, upward dog, all these things, as soon as the session's over, my mind expands. And I start going, what's going on here? I mean, I've had my mind expand by sitting there punching, blocking, and all this stuff. But this was huge expansion. And then it clicked for me. Remove resistance, and this growth comes in. And I started to see that every time I was kind of like bottled up in shoulders or chest, that if I stretch that all out, all of a sudden my brain connected a different way. And it's profound when you get the realization of that. And that's what, now I don't do yoga on a consistent basis. My daughter still teaches it to private clients virtually all over the world, but it was such an insight for me. So anybody should be doing that if they need that type of resistance removed from their body,
Yeah, man, you're inspiring me to get back into that and try that. I tried that a couple of times. I was like, oh gosh, it was terrible, but I do see the benefits. So kind of to that resistance thing, like, do you feel that that's what a lot of entrepreneurs are doing like right now, and that's why they're just not successful?
Oh yeah, it's all resistance. First is the resistance of belief, right? Do I think I can or think I can't? Then it's resistance based on their past. I tried and I made a mistake, and then there's resistance of judgment. People, it's comfortable being broke and struggling. It really is, because you can relate to most of the population.
Sure.
It's hard to be successful, not because it's hard to do. It's hard for you to learn how to function in that world. As you guys know, being successful, if you get around a group of people and you're talking about success and they can't relate, you're kind of like feeling like, and they want to tell you, oh, look at you, big shot. Oh, you were lucky. You're like, lucky? Did you not know what happened to me with my father? Like, I forgot. That was a lucky thing for me. Now, look, it might have had upsides for you guys later, but this is how the world functions and looks at things. So there's so many areas that people just have to look at and say, and they can do it right now. Just ask yourself, what's one resistance thing I'm dealing with that's keeping me from the future I desire? Yeah. And you might go, it's my relationship. And you're like, okay, is it the relationship? Is it your part of the relationship, their part? Is it the relationship, or is it resistance? You don't know how to communicate.
Yeah.
And you can just peel that sucker right back.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head, what you said, man. Just that people are just more comfortable living poor and kind of just broke, right? Not wanting to level up. I actually just posted this on Facebook today that too many people, we work with health and fitness coaches. I tell it all the time, like how it is. I don't care if they get butthurt or whatever, but I told them, stop seeking so much comfort because you're resisting pressure, and the pressure is like a diamond, right? That's going to help you develop those skills to go to new levels on there. But it's so much easier just to be broke and be at the same level, be complacent,
Yeah, and fitness coaches first off, I'm a believer in coaches. I had 7 at one time. I mean, everything: relationship coach, spiritual coach, business coach, marketing coach. I've coached under Jay Abraham for 3 years. I mean, you name it, I've had coaches, and I've invested a lot, just like I'm sure you guys. But in the fitness space, there's really this amazing opportunity for people. It's not just about physical fitness. It's just not about sculpting and building muscle. It's not that. You can take belief systems, call them mantras, call them whatever you want. And with every bench press, you could be literally building and programming into your energy, into your muscle, everyone, success, power, strength, focus. Every weight you curl, every move, you could be seeing the exact future. Everybody has an amazing future. It's already built. They're just waiting to catch up to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And through physical fitness, you could literally, and I don't know if all the people that you teach and stuff do this, but I mean, having that picture while you're sitting there benching or curling or doing whatever and just seeing yourself in that picture, there's a whole new level of dynamic that this industry can just bury these beliefs into people of power. And all of a sudden they're leaving the gym not feeling good. They're feeling successful.
100%,
That's
man.
a big difference.
Yeah. Like that. And that's why we practice and preach too. We tell them, stop posting all that how to like bullshit content where it's like you're showing them like the foods you're making, like the exercise. They can go YouTube, all that stuff, call them out on their beliefs, call them out on the BS stuff that they're doing. Right. But that brings me to segueing into mind growth versus mindset. Right.
Yeah.
So we actually coined mind growth after your hot seat with talking, man. I was like, that is gold. The way you kind of just like put that analogy with like pouring concrete on it. Right. Yeah. So let's talk about that, Mike. Like, what is the difference between this mind growth and mindset? Why should people be seeking more mind growth?
Yeah. Well, first off, I think you have to question everything that what people are telling you, they tell you be positive. I've met a lot of positive jerks in my life. Right. And if you look at this, people say it's all about mindset. It's all about mindset. And I was thinking there one day, well, wait a minute. The term set means stuck. It's done. It doesn't move. And what if everybody that was telling me it's about mindset was actually making me stuck? And then I started to think, well, it's not about set. It's about growth. It is about the ability to learn something, expand to the point that you see it in a new way. You connect a new dot, and then all of a sudden you could grow from that. Look, you cannot build $100 or $1 million business with $100,000 mindset. Yeah. You can't. Now you could build $1 million business with $1 million growth thinking and actions and behaviors and skill sets. And I think when you start saying that, this here, them learning is not about breaking through a mindset. It's about expanding a new level of growth. So when they get off this, like this episode here that you guys are doing, people first should be taking notes. And the second thing is they should leave with action items, because if they just listen to us, give value, and then leave, that's entertainment. Okay, I had a fun time, but did nothing with it. For those of you who listen to this, don't make this a fun time you do nothing with. Yeah. Take that and ask yourself, okay, what resistance do I have to remove? Action item. Where do I need to grow in my mind? Action item.
Yeah. And I love what you said, man, about how you can't build $1 million business with like $100,000 mindset, right? So if I was to kind of break this down to 3 categories, right, where we have, an entrepreneur has beliefs they got to break, they have to have skill sets, right? And then they have like character traits, right? So what would you say under like the character traits, the beliefs they have to break and the skill sets they need to be able to get to like $1 million kind of like mind growth level?
I know, my bad. I know you're probably like, dude, why did you do that? I just really quick, and we'll be back to that video. I just want you to join our free Facebook group community for health and fitness coaches looking to get more online clients. So just click the link below in the description box, join it absolutely free. We got some cool stuff in there, a lot of videos, do live trainings every couple of months on there. And we got some cool freebies on there. So just make sure to click the link below, join our free Facebook group for health and fitness coaches that want to level up and get more online clients to create more income, impact, influence, independence. Back to the video.
Yeah, look, it's all about clarity, alignment, and accountability, right? And if you have, let's break out some things here. If you have mindset, a sense of a new mind, but you don't have skills, you can't go anywhere, right? And most people want something that they're not clear about. They go, oh, I want a big house. I want $1 million. $1 million is not the outcome. It's what you want the $1 million for.
Yeah.
But nobody ever builds that. They never have a clarity. Then they get clarity and they don't get alignment. They come to you guys and they go, I want to be successful. When I do speak in front of, sometimes I speak in front of 1,000 people, I go, okay, who wants to make more money? They all raise their hand. I take $1 out and I give $1 to one person. I go, you're done. You could leave. And they go, no. What, you said more money. What, you more than this? Yeah, I want more than that. Give them a 20. Okay, you can leave. See, there's no clarity in that. And if you don't have clarity and then alignment with other people around you, right? So people say, oh, you're going to become like the 5 people you surround yourself with. Now, do I have to watch my language on here?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Not at all.
That's total bullshit. That's total bullshit, guys. If you put me around 5 struggling people, you think I start to struggle or those fucking people become successful? I will make those 5 people so successful so fast. It is not. That's a story like the tortoise and the rabbit. Do you really think the turtle beat a rabbit? That was for people who did not want to train and put enough effort in, so the turtles of the world didn't feel bad. It's a bullshit story. You know what I mean? So if you start to look through it through the eyes of like, let's just look at success, clarity, alignment, and hold yourself accountable to it. Now, you guys probably talk about this before, you know, the why and stuff. And a lot of people want to know their why, but they don't have what they put is leverage. I'll tell you what I've done in my trainings, because I've done a lot of trainings, a lot of people over a lot of years. And what we do is we always put leverage and reward. Now, leverage will only work if you are convinced there's no way in hell you get it. Let me give you an example. I have somebody, a lot of people have this fear of clowns. You know what I mean? They do. They fear clowns. I tell them, you never have to fear a clown if you train martial arts, learn how to fight with a knife, or carry a Glock. Like that's a movie. Like clowns, they come in you show them a gun, the clown runs away, right? But they have fear of clowns. So one of my leverages for one of my clients was this. Okay, if you don't get this done, you don't hire somebody in the next 30 days, you have to sleep one whole night with 5 clowns staring at you while you sleep. Now the brain goes, ooh, no way in hell. Yeah, I'm out of here. In return, the brain goes, what do I have to do? And it starts connecting dots like this to make it happen. And I think people, it sounds good when they go, oh, you got to treat your goals like, you know, oxygen. Yeah, but let's face it, you're not lacking oxygen. So it's not it's a hard thing to believe. If I sit here and go, you know what, I'll chop your finger off, and you really know I'll chop it off, you go, I'm going to win. And I did this even with, this might be fun for anybody who has employees. I mean, I did this with my own team at both companies, but at my one gold medal company, my one manager said, okay, if I don't get this done, I will call my ex-wife and tell her how much I appreciate her. Guess what? He didn't get it done. Oh, and he called his ex-wife and had to say, I appreciate you. I care so much of who you are. And then the woman turned around and said, are you dying? To him. Another one, we had my employees. They agreed that if they didn't get a task done, they had to eat goldfish alive.
Yeah. Dang.
And they didn't get it done. But you know what? You only do that so many times where the brain goes, I just don't want to eat goldfish, or they have these things, you guys, it's humorous. They have these cheddar cheese maggots, tastes like cheddar cheese. Yeah. But people are freaked out by it. So, you know, yes, success, clarity, alignment, accountability. And then you guys will love this part. You have to have training. You get that. Not just physical training. You have to have skill set training. You have to have coaching of some kind. You need someone to be cheering you on, and you got to have some form of managing. You got to manage yourself. Yeah. Or you got to have somebody manage you. We all know, especially in the fitness industry, if someone's managing you, like, tell me what you shoved in your mouth today. Tell me what you did this morning. Tell me what you drank today, and they help manage you. You could help get online. But if you manage without training and coaching, well, then it feels like your dad's just pointing the finger. Do this, don't do this.
Yeah, 100%. Man, Mike, I would say if you had a microphone, just pour some water on that. It's on fire. Yeah, I love it, man. That's all great, just stuff. So thank you for sharing that. So let's stay on this. Like we usually segue into like more lifestyle questions. We're interested like that. But what are like maybe 3 go-to like rituals and habits that you have that you've just found just to be very successful to program your mind to play offense and not defense every day?
Yeah, it's awesome. First off, a lot of people ask me the question, guys. They go like this, Eric. They go, They think because of my success, I must have this incredible morning routine. Yeah. Right. So they're like, what do you do? They're like, I go, well, I woke up today like 7:30. I then turned on Facebook and I scrolled while I laid in bed, and they're like, no, you must get up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm like, I would vomit at 4:30 in the morning. It's not a one size fits all, but I will tell you, I'll give you a tip that summarizes the whole thing.
Sure.
I have this routine. It's called the Daily Power Routine Tracker that I built for my company, Food Dog Group. And on here is things that I want to do in a day. There's no specific time, because you guys know, I used this example the other day. If you pick up a 25-pound weight and you curl it, like if you curl the same 25-pound weight for a year, your muscle grows this big? No, it doesn't. No. You have to change it. So I believe in a list of things that I do. So I'll give you guys a couple examples. First off, stretching.
Yeah.
That's a necessary evil for me every day. I have this, I'm sure you guys know it better than me, this like stretch right with these beads. I stretch myself out. That is the first thing I do every morning when I wake up. I stretch. Takes 3 minutes. A couple other things that I think are important. Every day, I understand my 3 core values. I learn, I create, and I teach. So every day at the end of the day, I grab this piece of paper and I go, did I learn something new? Did I create something that would help other people? And did I teach something that would serve someone else? And then the other 2, and I got a bunch more on here, we can dig in if you want, but most people do gratitude, but they have one kind of gratitude. They have the gratitude of the past. I'm thankful for the food. I'm thankful I woke up, blah, blah, blah. I have that, but I have the gratitude for the future. I'm already grateful for the success that I'm having that's coming. It's right here. Like I am grateful for the next 500 people that I'm going to communicate, or I'm grateful for the people that will listen to this and change their lives because of it. So
I like that.
I use this sheet and I gut check against this sheet every single day. I check against it and I go, how did I do? And at the bottom, it says insights to enhance my next day.
Yeah.
And that's all. I don't look for perfection. Yeah. I just look for progress, and I don't beat myself up if I did not do intentful eating versus gorging, right? I try to do intentful eating where I say, hey, this food means this. And every time I drink water, and this is a great tip if people don't do this, and I'm sure you guys know the study of how you could change the molecules of water, right? Your mind could actually change the structure. I consciously, every day when I take a drink, I drink health, I drink success, I drink the next $1 million, I drink the next customer. Like that sounds a little creepy, but you get the point, right? I constantly drink the intention of the water that I drink. So that's some of the cool stuff I do every day. Besides love, I'm with my beautiful wife, Jennifer, since we're 15 years old.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. It's incredible, man.
After this, we spend lunch. We do like 3 walks down into Jersey Shore every day. I talk to my son and my daughter every day. Like, so that's core. Anything else besides that means nothing if I don't get those things done.
Yeah, it's just awesome hearing that, Mike, just because, again, like we're big on this too. Like our pastor talks about living a life by design, not by default. And just hearing that, I'm just like, ooh, like Mike's created this amazing life that he designed the way he wants. It's not by default. And has it been easy? No, it's probably hasn't, but well earned. So that's amazing.
Yeah, things don't, I love this phrase. I'm sure you guys have said it before. Things don't happen to you. They happen for you.
Yeah.
And it's tough to swallow because in the last 30 days, I had a brand new RV that we bought. We waited a year for it. My wife and I had to return it because it had recalls on it. So that's one thing. We had a boiler we have one house over from this house, another house down the shore. The boiler almost burned through the floor. Now for 3 weeks, they're going to be cleaning soot out of the house. And you look at those things and you go, okay, what did I learn from it? What did it do? Why am I excited this happened? I'm excited that house had that problem because my son's coming back to stay in it. And it's so much better it happened with no one in the house than him there.
Yeah.
But I think a big lesson that I focused on the last bunch of years, guys, is no matter how bad something seems, if you could see as many upsides to that as downsides and get it what we would call sum neutral, you could live with a sense of freedom that you can't even explain it until someone does that type of work, you know?
Yeah. Damn, that's so good, Mike. I appreciate you just like sharing that type of value, man. It's really good.
Yeah.
So something I want to kind of just ask you is I like to know just people's killer instincts in business, like what makes them tick, right? So you've had a lot of success, with your gold medal company with CEO Warrior now. So like, let's just use an analogy of sports, right? With like Tom Brady, we can say Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, when that fourth quarter hits, there's just something in them with that killer instinct and it just makes them flip that switch to want to just go into that mode. What is it that kind of just makes you tick and get into that killer instinct mode in business?
Yeah. For me, it's always been about a movement. It's always been about the people first. I'm built to change things. And if you summarized it, it's all about removing suffering, right? I just want to, and look, it's just like you guys, like, why do you do things? It's because you had a sense of suffering and you don't want anybody to feel that way. And when I look at the industry that I changed, the service industry, and then I look at the coaching that I did for CEO Warrior, and I look what I'm doing now with Food Dog for life, it's always about this. What is the movement that has to happen to move humanity or an industry forward? You guys in your industry, like, you don't want to hear someone loves to help people live healthier, happier, stronger, but don't know how to connect to more people.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You don't want them to have that. And yes, some of them do it for money, but in the end, when everybody, it gets to the end of the day, no one's doing it for money. They're all doing it for impact, legacy, and change.
Yeah.
And that's what always just keeps me, I'll tell you what, this is really funny. When I meet people, they all the time want to tell me, oh, I only work 2 hours a week. And I go, oh my God, I am so sorry. We have to work on this, because the fact you hate what you do so much, you only want to do it 2 hours a week. It's like the 4-hour work week. I feel bad for people that want for us. Me, there is no work. There's no work-life balance. There's life. And there's all the things you do in it. You don't have to live the way everybody's telling you to live. And if you don't love what you're doing, either reframe it so you can find love in it, or find a new way to do it. And it's not about quitting tomorrow. It's it's not an event. Life's not an event. It might have little events sometimes. Life's a process, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. That's deep. I like it. So, I'm gonna go deep on you, Mike, with this question. So if you had 5 years to live, what's like one thing you would stop doing?
Man, it's a good question. Right now, with where I'm at in my life, I would stop doing nothing. If anything, I would do more of something. I do a whole bunch of speaking like this, videos, live videos, social media. If anything, I'd probably do more of that. But I got to tell you something, I've spent so much time in figuring things out that if I don't like it, I don't do it. I made a rule years ago. If it's not fun, you have to find a way to stop this shit as fast as you possibly can. Mm-hmm. And my wife and I live that way. And we live that way with our kids. Like, if this is not going to be fun, we got to remove it, fix it, find a new way to do it, change it. So I know for a lot of people that don't know me, they're probably like, the dude's probably doing something, daddy don't. But I got to tell you, at this level of success, selling 2 companies, 132 million, coaching company way larger than that. No, I don't do anything I don't like, and I don't hang out. I'm here. Well, first off, I'm here not because Taki's group and stuff. I'm here because I looked at you guys, and I look at people that have a good heart. And if they don't have a good heart and they're not making a difference, I won't say I would stop doing that. I just don't do that. I don't get on and I don't give an hour to people that are just trying to make $1, because by giving back, the money always comes. It's so true. I learned this in my own life, Yeah,
man, I appreciate that. And that's just, thank you, Mike. That's amazing. I when I ask that question, I don't get surprised sometimes when someone says that they don't want to stop doing anything. So much respect, Mike. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. And so what would you say is next for you, Mike? Just kind of like leaving that legacy, just having that impact, right? And just having more meaning in your life. I know that you sold 2 companies. Like you said, you're working on a company right now. You'd like to do like more media stuff like this. But I mean, what's kind of like next for you, man? Like say this year and the next coming like couple of years.
Yeah, it's doing, and I'll give you a little thinking about how I think of things. But right now, what we're doing is last year we started this company called Food Dog Group, and these are like these imperial mystical lions that you see outside like emperor castles. They're called food dogs. And what I learned was this: really, really reflecting on my success and my life and stuff. I started to look like a lot of people want to build their business, right? A lot of people listen to this, build their business. But if you look at a life wheel, it's like, and there's 10 parts of that wheel. The business side is actually 1/10. That's it. The other stuff is the health, the relationship, your spiritual connection, your contribution, it's everything else. And I came up with the distinction, guys, the distinction. If you want to 10X your business, everybody tells you 10X, 10X, 10X.
Yeah.
There's only one way to do it. You have to 20X yourself. And no one's telling you that part. So what we did was we built this company, and this company, Food Dog Group, is built because we're going to change humanity. Not just now, not just the next decade, not 100 years from now. We are going to make an impact now that's going to carry out 1,000+ years. And people go, that's crazy. But I got to tell you something. This year I was looking up oldest companies. You guys could look it up. There's companies in Japan that are over 12 or 1,300 years old.
Jeez.
Now, wait a second. We're building a company like we're going to do it for 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 years. But there's companies in the world that have been around over 1,000 years.
Jeez.
So where I'm at right now is, how can I change humanity, the way it functions, the way people live, the way they end relationships? And if I have to do it myself by carrying it on my shoulders, I'm going to do it until I get enough people to follow with me and help with that. And then I want to know that 1,000 years from now, probably on another planet or planets, they could connect the dots to this show right here, this time together, and go, you know what? This person heard that here, and look what this did 1,000 years. This person listened to this while they were working out in the gym, and look what this did 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And so when you expand on that, time does not seem short. It actually seems very abundant.
Yeah. And I could just see just like the excitement when you're explaining it.
Passion.
It's really awesome. So thanks for sharing that. So before we ask the last question, Mike, I could be, we could go on for hours talking to you, but we want to be respectful of time too. But I just want to take a moment to acknowledge you and just say thank you. Thank you again for your time, just the wisdom, your kind compliment to us about a good heart. I mean, just speaking to you right now, and just even before, like I could tell you're a very good hearted guy and a great man, so just saying that you want to change humanity, all the stuff that you have been doing, all the things you're going to create going forward. I mean, man, like it's a privilege to know you and be on here and deliver this type of value. So thank you. Yeah. And Mike, big brother by 1 minute, he kind of just stole the mic on that one right there. So I'll talk to him later about it, but I'm just kidding. But I just want to say thanks again too, like for your hot seat you did in Black Belt. Cause I know that was a time where it's just like, in business, you have ebbs and flows, right? And it was definitely one of those times where it was just a valley, right? I was having a lot of kind of mindset issues, self-limiting beliefs. But that really picked me up, man. And you fired me up. And that's exactly, I just kind of envisioned it. I was like, man, I want Mike on the podcast. I don't know how I'm going to get him on there, but I'm going to make it happen because his presence and his wisdom and his knowledge and experience can just have that ripple effect to help so many people out. Right. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's an honor to be here. And I'm not here just for this show. We're friends.
Yeah.
So I'm here for the good stuff I want you to share along with everybody listening. Find me on Facebook, share good things. And I'm here for the struggles too, because everybody wants to know that, one thing, they're not alone in a world that sometimes can feel a little bit lonely, like, people can't relate to you because you're a crazy entrepreneur. They can't relate to you because you have these different things that you do. It's like my wife and I would say, like, sometimes at Thanksgiving with our family, we kind of wonder, where did we come from? And that's why so many like-minded people like us get together, do shows like this and hang out, because you don't feel lonely in that type of crowd. You feel connected.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
100%.
I definitely resonate with that. So the last question I like to ask is, what does living a dynamic lifestyle mean to you?
Look, I'm going to share with you my favorite word. If you asked me for one word, like what's the one word? It's mastery.
Okay.
It is mastery. And it's not mastery like this, the Kung Fu guy, right? With the white long beard and he's on the mountain. It's not that. It's mastery of tomorrow. You're just a little better than you are today. That's mastery. And when people start, I know a lot of people, they use these buzzwords, but when you start to live that way and say, you know what, if you're a father, how can I bring a little mastery to, like me, I'm constantly doing my best to show up at the next level for my 22-year-old son, who, by the way, he is a martial arts expert, combat expert, does virtual trainings. I mean, how do I show up for him to support him through what he's doing? My 19-year-old daughter, how do I show up? How do I show up as a husband that my wife wants to stay with, not since we've been for 15, but another 35 plus years, and mastery of thought. I'll leave everybody with that one. Mastery of thought is asking yourself a question. And the question is, what if everybody's telling me, what if I don't want that framing of it? And if we have time, I'll give you two things. One's quick and really super quick. When people ask me how old you are, I said, I don't have an age, I have a level. I'm level 51.
Damn, I like it.
You want to know what level 51 looks like? I am faster, stronger, tougher, smarter, quicker than when I was 18. Because as you move up in levels, you don't get weaker unless you choose. And the second one, if it's okay to share, I have a really cool change on the genie in the bottle. Could I share that with you?
Absolutely, man.
Okay. So everybody wishes for these lotteries and they want the genie in the bottle. They rub the bottle but this is a different genie in this bottle, guys. This one here, Chris, you rub the bottle and this genie comes out and says, Chris and Eric, I will grant you as many wishes as you want, as long as I know you cannot grant them to yourself. And the genie goes back in the bottle and you go, okay, here's what we want. We want $100 million. Rub the genie. And then Eric's like, okay, I know he's probably going to ask the same thing. He's slightly older by a minute. We want $100 million. And the genie says to both of you, Chris and Eric, I told you I could only give you a wish you can't grant yourself. So it goes back in the bottle and you go, wait a minute. Okay, we got a good one here. I got a good one. All right. So you guys have a quick brother-twin conversation. You go, I got it. Rub it. Genie comes out and you guys go, here's what we want to do. Genie, we want you to solve hunger in the world. And the genie turns around and goes, guys, I told you, I can only grant you a wish that I know you cannot grant yourself. So when you think about the genie in the bottle, people have to really understand, don't look for the genie in the bottle. You're the genie in the bottle. Yeah. And there is no limitation proven today that we're going. You think you think we just went to Mars? Like 1 week they were like, go there, but we got all these pictures. Come on, right? There's no limit to the possibility of anybody living today, listening to this show, learning from you guys. There's no limit to it. You could go anywhere as soon as you accept that you have everything on the inside that you need.
Yeah. Man, Mike, so much gold, so much knowledge in this episode. I know for a fact I'm going to go back and listen to this and take notes. Yeah. I know that because I did that on your hot seat. So I know I'm going to do that. So listeners, please go back and listen to this and don't listen to it at the gym or anything like that. Take notes on this and take it serious. Amazing stuff. So Mike, where can the listeners, first and foremost, where can Eric and I and the listeners, support you on? And then secondly, where can they connect with you?
Yeah, so go to fooddog.com. That's FUDOG group.com. That's a great place. It's a website. We got another new website coming out. Find me on Facebook. I'm all over it. And I'm on Telegram. Hit me up, say hello. And we have a really awesome, and maybe I could give it to you to connect everybody. We have a great free Facebook group. and it's called Personal Growth and Mindset Mastery. And I bring all kinds of insights, thinking, and just real life stuff, even to the point where I opened the medicine cabinet and my wife's red nail polish fell and exploded like a grenade and damaged the bathroom walls, which is always fun to do. But don't worry, Chris. She said she always wanted to paint the bathroom anyway. So it's all good. So those are the best places to find me. And I look forward to serving everybody any way I can. And to both of you, thank you for what you're doing, because if more people do what you do and care the way you do, then guess what? I won't be changing humanity alone. We'll be changing it together.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Well said, and thank you so much. So yeah, we'll have all that stuff linked up in the show notes. So guys, seriously, go see what Mike's up to, take him up on those resources. And yeah, if you didn't learn something today, I have no idea what else to say. But other than that, Mike, thank you so much for your time. And yeah, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode.